Hi everyone! So in this video, I'm going to be going over the brainstorming packet for our book covers. So if you're not sure, looks just like this. You should all have it. If not, let me know, I'll get you one. So this is what we're going to do before we start anything on our project. Up here we have a little blurb of what our project is to remind you in case you forget. So just as a reminder, we're creating a book cover design that could serve as the cover to a book about your life. So we're going to be collaging construction paper on top of cardboard and then drawing with colored pencils and Sharpies on top to add some details, symbols, fonts, stuff like that. So there's a lot of things we want to think about before we start. So this activity is going to help you to get started. So right here, we have our project objectives. So what you're going to be graded on, also what you're going to be creating. So first one, we just went over that. You're going to create an autobiographical book cover. Second one, you're going to create at least, there's probably going to be more than that, 2 symbols in your design. Remember we talked about symbols? Maybe you could have one that's really straightforward. So you really like sunflowers. Sunflowers are your favorite flower. So sunflower might be one of your symbols. Or maybe they might be a little more abstract. So maybe you'll have a fire as one of your symbols to represent anxiety. Those are just 2 examples that came at the top of my head. So number 3, you're going to include an interesting font, so not your regular handwriting. We're going to talk more about that when this goes on. We have a website for you. And a lot of times that'll probably be in your title, maybe where you write your name, if you have other words in there. Number 4, you'll incorporate at least 3 colors or values in the collaged element. I don't think you'll have any trouble with that. Number 5, you'll use colored pencil and or, you don't need both, Sharpie to add details over top of the collaged element. Number 6, you'll develop an interesting title. So the title of your book isn't going to just be your name. Remember we talked about titles when we looked at book covers in the PowerPoint. We looked at some examples. We talked about how the title relates to the design, relates to the story. So it's not going to be something random. You're going to think about it. It'll go with your total design. Number 7, you'll demonstrate good craftsmanship. This is a given for all of our projects. So no smudges, torn edges, unwanted marks, stuff like that, unless they have to do with your design. That's okay. Like maybe if torn edges have to do with your design, that is okay. And number 8, that's a given for all of our projects too, good participation. All right, so going down, we're going to answer a bunch of questions to get our brains moving, start thinking about our projects. So I believe there are 43 questions in total, yep. And it sounds like a lot, but it won't take you too long. They start out really simple, like favorite colors, any specific shade, what's your heritage, how many siblings, stuff like that you can answer super quickly. You'll go on, they'll get a little more interesting as they go on. Flip the page. And then they start to get a little bit more complex. So, like if somebody took a walk in your shoes, they would have to, so this one maybe you're a runner. If someone took a walk in their shoes, they would have to run. So maybe stuff like that. Maybe if you're a gymnast, they would have to walk on their hands instead of in your shoes. So think a little abstractly, think about it, have some fun with it. And they're gonna go all the way down, thinking a little bit deeper as you go on. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. So looking back at your responses to the questions, are there any common themes / repeats among your answers, and what are they? So that means a theme or a repeat, it could be the same answer to multiple questions. So you're going to look at all 43 of these questions, go through them all, see if there's any similar or the same answer. So maybe green was your answer to a lot of things. So green would be down here. Just pulling things out of the top of my head. Repeats could be, maybe you have a lot of things that have to do with games. So there's different types of games, maybe video games might be in there, maybe something else electronic. So maybe technology could be one of your themes, okay? Next one, of those common themes and repeats, so this question's talking to this one, see how everything's kind of connecting? Create 8 to 10 symbols. So remember in our objectives, we only needed 2, but here we're creating 8 to 10 symbols. So you're creating a bunch, and then you're going to pull through them later to express them on a separate piece of paper. So you're creating symbols to express these themes. And this is created on a separate sheet of paper because you don't have any space here. That'd be way too small. And you're going to label them to show what you're expressing. So remember, they can be really straightforward, or they might be a little more abstract. So some more examples are, maybe you could do some gears to demonstrate thinking and thought. Or it could be really straightforward. It could be bubbles to show how you're really playful, or sun to show how you like to go outside, okay? And if you're a little stuck, look at things online. Look at book covers online, look at movie posters online. They'll have some cool themes you can look at. Now we're going to look at our responses again. So looking at your responses, what colors do you feel represent you the most? So we're going to go back through all of our questions. We're going to see if there's some common colors. So it could be just like this. You're repeating the same color, or maybe things just have to do with it. So maybe a lot of your answers have to do with going outside. Maybe then your color would be green to represent nature, okay? So we're gonna flip the page again. All right, remember we talked about those fonts earlier? Here's where we're gonna look at them. So we're gonna go on to 1001fonts.com, or 1001 free fonts also works. 1001 free fonts.com. It works the same. And search for some fonts that you feel fit your personality, your response to the questions, and your symbols. You know, think about your symbols that you created here too. And also on these websites, all the fonts have names. So you're going to write down the names of the fonts and practice them. You want to write down the names so when you're creating your design, you can find them again later. Now on both of these websites, there's search bars, so you can actually write in the word that you want to do. So maybe say your word is dog that you want to create. So you type in dog into the search bar. You click some buttons to show them what kind of font you're looking for, and it'll show you dog in all of those fonts. And you're going to keep scrolling and find one that you like, okay? And we'll go over this. So you're going to find down some fonts that fit your overall design, your theme, and practice them. Practice them. Because you want to make sure that you can do it, you're comfortable with it before you move on to your final, okay? And now, moment of truth. Let's see, can we see this? Pull it back a little bit. All right. So with the fonts, colors, and symbols you've created, you're going to begin drawing out ideas. So your sketches, they will be at least 2.5 by 4 inches. Remember that. And you'll create at least 6 of them. So these will also be done on a separate sheet of paper. Remember your objectives. So on the first page, your objectives, things you're getting graded on, you want all of these to be included. So let's go over them again. At least 2 symbols, interesting font, at least 3 colors, color pencil and Sharpie, a title. All right. So when you're creating all of your sketches, these are things you want to think about. Okay? And you're not creating your sketches until all of these steps are completed. All right? I know some of you like to just skip to the end. There's a method to my madness. This is all to help you think of your designs, okay? All of this relates to each other. All right? If you have any questions, as always, ask me, ask a friend, ask anybody, look stuff online. All right? So that is the basis of our brainstorming packet.